Good morning everyone and welcome to a beautiful Old Trafford this morning. It is there, don't worry. I have got the brolly on, I'm afraid. It's horrible out here this morning, but plenty transfer news and all sorts to bring you update. We've got an update on the Dortmund duo that United will be constantly linked with. That's Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho, and also a brand new name to bring you in terms of a centre-half target. So let's start with that new name that United have been linked with at centre-half, and that is Robin Lenormand, who plays for Real Sociedad. And this has been picked up by a few English outlets this morning, but mainly from Grada 3 in Spain. Now this one, £67 million buyout clause apparently for the 24-year-old playing at Real Sociedad. Now, here's a big thing to pick up on this one. We've mentioned this before about keyword bingo and what happens in and around not only the transfer window, but especially when Manchester United play teams in Europe. They've been linked with a player from Real Sociedad who we obviously play in the Europa League in the next few games. Now, these papers, they're pretty clever when they do things like this. Are they dropping in his name? Because it starts getting talked about. They can then do articles saying Manchester United will line up against Sociedad, where they will feature Manchester United target Robin Lenormand. They're constantly getting in Manchester United, Real Sociedad into the same articles and bringing in players. This is something they do to get more clicks and things like this. So let me know. Do you think we're actually linked with Robin Lenormand, or do you think this is just one that they're just plucking out of the sky? For me, Manchester United are obviously keen on a centre-half, whether that's Upamecano, whether that's someone from the Premier League, and whether that's Lenormand from Real Sociedad. I'm not too sure, but United definitely linked with the centre-half. Let me know what you think about this one. Now, the next bit of news this morning is all about that Dortmund duo. Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho, you've heard it all here before. We're always going to be linked with these guys until they go elsewhere. But today there's been a talk a little bit around Haaland and Sancho and how they could both kind of be linked together and what their chances are of joining Manchester United or any of the other English clubs, and how many people are going to be lining up to sign these two players. So this news around Erling Haaland is that first thing is that Chelsea have joined the race to sign. This was reported on the Athletics podcast with David Ornstein yesterday. And so they've said that Chelsea, Tammy Abraham not quite doing it for them, Werner not quite getting the goals. Maybe they're going to enter the race for Erling Haaland, and maybe they're going to get their checkbook out early and not wait for this magical release clause in 2022. They're looking at doing that, and if that becomes the case, does that mean that every team has to do this? There's obviously reports of Manchester United wanting Erling Haaland. There's reports of Manchester City doing it, and also his preferred location, apparently Haaland's preferred location, is Real Madrid. And that, you know, maybe it's going to happen this summer. Maybe the bidding war will start early. Maybe it will be £120 million signing rather than that £77 million release clause in 2022. So that's the first bit of news, that Chelsea have joined the race and that Haaland potentially could be on the move. But the other bit of news that came out of that podcast was that they're maybe looking at selling Jadon Sancho a little bit cheaper, a little bit earlier, and not just that, get a little bit more funds into the book so they don't have to sell Haaland this summer. So Ornstein brought this up, saying that Jadon Sancho will be likely sold this summer. Didn't mention Manchester United, but obviously he was our main transfer target this summer. So mentioning Jadon Sancho will be sold this summer, maybe at a cut price, maybe not at the £120 million, €120 million, £120 million price tag that got mentioned last summer. So, Jadon Sancho will be sold this summer at a cut price. What does that mean for Manchester United? Will United still go into it? He's not had the best of years so far, Jadon Sancho, and I think that if he'd have been at an English club, I think that people maybe have been cooling the interest around Jadon Sancho. But do you know what? He's still a quality footballer, and I think United still want a right winger. I still think, even though they've got Diallo Traore in, and he's looking like a very good player, and maybe he's one for further down the line, is Jadon Sancho still on our transfer list? Let me know in the comments. This isn't directly linking to Manchester United right now, but this Sancho, Haaland, the Dortmund links and all this kind of stuff, it's all going to be a chain reaction, all going to be a chain of events. If Sancho leaves this summer, maybe Haaland has to wait till the summer after. If Sancho comes to Manchester United, does that mean that Haaland is completely off? One thing is going to be for certain around Jadon Sancho and Erling Haaland. They're going to be constantly linked to Manchester United and the other clubs in Europe, not just this summer, but for the next few years. So yesterday, our former assistant coach, Frans Hoek, spoke to Sport Witness about a few things that have been going on. He spoke about Donny van der Beek and how he said that, do you know what? Things don't work at Old Trafford, he can move elsewhere. Not linking him to anywhere, but at the same time, why this keeps getting brought up, I don't know. Donny van der Beek, a very good player, obviously one for the future for Manchester United. Let him bed into the squad. Don't rush him anywhere. But so many of the Dutch news outlets and things like that picking up on the fact that he's not playing and kind of like forcing a news story out of it. I don't think there's anything there with Donny van der Beek being unsettled or anything like that at Manchester United. He obviously wants more minutes, but he's got to understand the players that are ahead of him, and I think he is one for the future. He also mentions in this article, Franco, he says that United, he has been following them. He's not a fan. He says obviously they're doing well being top of the league, but they're not playing impressive football. That is from someone that was coaching under Louis van Gaal. There was times when he didn't score a goal in the first half at Old Trafford for like 10, 12 weeks. And they're now bringing up not playing impressive football. I mean, come on, guys. What? Don't let people kid you into thinking that Louis van Gaal football was anything but very, very, very boring. Obviously, we won the FA Cup under it. There was definitely some signs of improvement, and I do think the way that he was sacked was wrong. But come on, it was horrible football, and don't think anyone can criticise the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is setting up a team at the minute. You know, top of the league still, and you know, there's a few clips from the weekend of how good United were, the football around, creating the chances. Yes, we didn't dominate possession, but if you don't see improvement on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're not watching it. And the football compared to what it was like under Louis van Gaal, night and day. Completely different styles of football. So the final bit of news for you have this morning is around Marcos Rojo. There's some news outlets last night picking up that he may be leaving Manchester United in the coming hours, and this deal seems imminent. In the articles, they do mention that the big sticking point around Marcos Rojo is his wages, reportedly on around £80,000, maybe towards the £100,000 mark, and that the clubs in Argentina can't match those wages, and that, you know, they're trying to come up to some kind of thing with Manchester United to try and maybe cover some wages or pay out a contract or whatever. But, you know, Marcos Rojo obviously not getting a sniff at the minute. He's back home in Argentina. He's not even looking like he's not even in the country, so he can't even play for Manchester United. I think he's going to be going in this transfer window. Let's wait and see where he goes. And also, get in the comments. Let us know what you all think about Marcos Rojo's time at Manchester United. He's an absolute nutter, and there's been some glimpses of some very good stuff with him, but it's not really got going for him there at Manchester United. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Marcos Rojo at Manchester United. That is all from me from a very, very rainy Old Trafford. It is storm. I think they've named this storm now. It's not nice here this morning, but that is all from me. Make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you're subscribing to Stretford Paddock, because we've got all sorts coming up. We will have the build-up to Manchester United's game against Fulham in the Premier League tomorrow night. We'll have all the usual stuff. We'll have a preview. We'll have watch-along. We'll also have fan cams and all that good stuff after the game. Also, make sure you are tuning in tonight, 9 o'clock. Joe Smith, Jay Motti, Transfers Live. So make sure you're subscribing, hit the notification bell, liking the video. I've been Alex, and I'll see you next time.